Welcome to the WordPress Photography Podcast, the podcast for photographers who want to learn how to get the most out of WordPress to grow their photography business. You don't need to be a geek to understand WordPress. Settle back and listen as we show you how. Now, here's your host, Scott Wyden-Kivowitz.
Welcome to episode 77. My name is Scott Wyden-Kivowitz, and today I just want to show you some of the new block editor things that can really help speed up and optimize your workflow when creating content now in WordPress 5.0 and above. So this is one of those episodes where it might be best for you to watch the video because I am actually sharing my screen in the video. So if you are just listening to this episode, I will try to explain where everything is so you can reference it later, but otherwise, hopefully you can go and check out the actual video. So the first thing first, we are in the new editor, and I'm going to just add a episode 77 demo as the title. And what I want to do first is show you that you can actually put in distraction-free mode. And the way you do this is you actually click on the three-dot icon. It's the Show More Tools and Options icon. It's the top right of the new editor. And when you do that, there is a Spotlight mode, top toolbar, and full screen mode. If we do top toolbar, what will happen is you will actually start seeing the tools when you're inside of a block. Whatever tools are available for that block will actually show up at the top of the menu item. And it's a nice thing to have because that means everything's always, clear. It's always right at the top in the same spot instead of having to look in each block individually for things like centering and bold and italic and things like that. So now what I want to show you is the Spotlight mode. And what happens is if you click on Spotlight mode, everything kind of becomes faded. It gets a little grayed out. And if you go to edit one block, you'll notice that the one block that you're editing becomes in focus. It gets darker, becomes normal, whereas the rest remain to be sort of shaded and grayed or lighter or faded, whatever you want to call it. That's Spotlight mode. That is so that you can focus on one block at a time if you want. I'm going to turn that off and I'm going to go to full screen mode. And this is where you can actually take your editor and completely make it full screen. It basically takes over the browser area, removes the WordPress sidebar and things like that. You can view the page. You can still do everything that you would do normally. And then it's just full screen, right? That's all it is. Now, what you can do as well, if you want to make it really distraction free, is you can actually go to full screen mode and then click the gear icon to hide the block and page settings. And then you have a true sort of distraction free mode because now you can just focus on the writing aspect. And if you turn on Spotlight mode while you're in that, you're really focused on the task at hand. That's sort of your new de facto distraction-free mode. And my guess is that down the road, there will be a quick setting to just go distraction-free and it'll sort of implement all three at once. But for now, you have to sort of do each of those one by one. The next thing I want to talk to you about are sort of some keyboard shortcuts. So you could actually do things using what's called markup. And if you're used to certain text editors that use markup, now you can do this within WordPress. So you can literally just copy and paste from a markup editor into the new WordPress editor, and it will convert it into blocks, which is really nice. So you can start typing, one, and then space, and then say this is the first bullet, and then you can say just hit enter and say this is the second bullet. And what you'll notice is that it actually will convert the 1 and the 2 to an actual list, a list block, so to speak. So you can see it's now a list block. I can actually convert that to being dots or numbers. And now another thing you can do is if I start typing the asterisk space, let me go to new block, sorry. So if I do asterisk and space, you can see that this is a bullet. It becomes the dot bullet automatically instead of the number bullet. Now, another thing you can do, what you might be used to if you've been using the new editor has been going and hitting the plus circle icon. That's the add block icon. That's in line or at the top, you can add the block icon. What you can also do is hit the slash key, the / key, and start typing the block you want. So I can start saying gallery and then hit enter. and then it'll actually add in the block. So I don't even have to use the mouse if I don't want to in order to add blocks. That's a pretty nice thing. Now the next thing I want to show you, this is the last of the keyboard shortcuts I want to show you, is actually the pound sign is a markup for headers. So I can actually do pound space and then start typing, this is a header 2 or H2 block. And then I can do, if I want to, pound space, this is a header 3 or H3 block. And if I was to go here, you'll see, if I hover over it, you'll see now it's an H3 and the other one is an H2. So that's just a quick way for you to add a header block just by typing pound or pound or however many pound you want for the H block, you can do just like that. Now, the next thing I want to show you is actually rearranging. So let's say I want this H block, the header 2 block up higher. I can hover over it and either hit the arrows to move it up or down. Or if I want to, I can click the 6 dot icon and just drag it where I want it, and see if you'll notice, if you're watching, you'll see there's a blue line. I can then let go and it's going to drop it right where that blue line was, which is really nice. And I can move around things very, very easily. The last thing I want to show you is, instead of having to go and click on a block and then go to the 3 dot menu icon for that block and then hit remove block, you could literally click on, as if you're going to drag the block, just click on that 6 dot draggable icon and hit the delete key on your keyboard, and it's going to delete the block just like that. You don't have to go into the menu for that block in particular. So it's very fast. And by the way, if you did not know, as a final bonus tip, is you can actually drag an image wherever you want. So I'm going to drag an image after my first paragraph block, hit the right align, and then shrink it down. And now I have a right aligned image right where I wanted it to be. So there's a lot of things you can do with the new WordPress editor, and even more of these cool tips will be coming as the editor is evolved and enhanced and things like that. We look forward to sharing more of these with you. And again, if you listen to this episode and you're a little confused, go back, go to the show notes at imagely.com/podcast/77 and watch the video so you can see what I'm doing as I was talking about it. I know sometimes when we're talking about WordPress in this podcast, some things require that visual. And this is one of those episodes where a visual is probably better because this is something that's brand new to WordPress. So it's not like everybody knows this inside and out. This is something that even I'm still learning right now. So, it's brand new. So try to check out the video. Again, the show notes page, imagely.com/podcast/77. See you in the next episode.
You've been listening to the WordPress Photography Podcast. To listen to other episodes and to subscribe to the podcast via iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and more, please visit imagely.com/podcast.